Coco Gauff emotional. She breaks down in tears in the post-match interview. I'm your host, Good Energy. Welcome to Tennis in a Minute. As always, my coverage is brought to you via the Doctrine of Fair Use, the Fair Dealing, and the Digital Millennium Mac. I say it all the time on the channel. It's all about the good energy. Coco said that when she won the U.S. Open. It's all about the good energy. And what is emotions? It's energy in motion. This experience we are having on the physical plane, it's all about how we manage our emotions, right? And interact with other people. And tears, when you cry, that is one way to show and prove that you are alive, ladies and gentlemen. I think it's beautiful. And Coco Gauff just wanted you to know she is human, right? She is a human being. So no matter how much success she has, and by the way, she said she's had an amazing career, that even if she retired today, so many players that have come and gone would dream for a career like Coco Gauff. And I agree with her. But she would also pivot and talk about the Jelena Ostapenko, Taylor Townsend situation. And we're going to get right into it, ladies and gentlemen. Now, we all know the face of women's tennis the last 3 decades has been an African-American woman, whether it was Venus early on before Serena got started, right? We can remember a time where Venus was the face of tennis, where Venus was the dominant player in that household. Then Serena took over. Sloane Stephens had a stretch there after winning the U.S. Open. She was the face of tennis. Everyone wanted Sloane in their commercials. Osaka came along for a brief stretch. And this is, during the time Serena's having the baby. She's not really active. And then eventually Coco Gauff would take off here, right? And the comments that Jelena made, they can be misconstrued, they can be taken personal, and they can be perceived as racist or disrespectful, especially for African-American women, when we all know in this country for a while now, the African-American female has been the most educated female in this country. So a lot of people hearing that comment took offense to it. And Coco would make a really good point. Now, if you didn't watch the SW19 segment where Taylor was walking around with a microphone saying, "Hey, I'm Taylor Townsend. Do you know who I am?" It was a joke, right? It was an insider, and I referenced it a few videos ago. But Coco would make a good point. She said, for those of you that have never met Taylor or heard of her, because this is such a big story, a lot of eyes are now on the U.S. Open. And for those that don't follow tennis and you've never heard of Taylor, it's a shame, Coco would say, for you to be introduced to her in this manner, because she's had one of the most successful junior careers. And I talk about this a lot on the channel. She was amazing as a junior, right? And as we celebrate 75 years of breaking the color barrier, you knew this was going to happen. You knew a story like this was going to happen. And sure enough, it did. And this is how the creator works in mysterious ways to bring up these conversations, to move humanity forward. And Coco Gauff, the current face of females tennis, she's emotional and she's dealing with a lot. She's not only dealing with the serve and having a new coach, but she's dealing with the pressure, fans asking her, why is she so focused on her outfits? And Osaka gets that a lot as well. Listen, a lot of it's hate. And the reality here is, yes, it comes with the territory. But for Coco to show this emotion, I think it's beautiful. Because it's okay to let your emotions out. You don't want to hold them in. And a lot of these mental coaches will say, look, occasionally, it's okay to slam a racket. Get that violation. Let it out. It's okay, Coco. It's okay to cry because we support you. But let's pivot as well to this Jelena Ostapenko situation because it's making headlines. Everyone's talking about it. And I think this was the worst time while we're celebrating Althea Gibson and what she's accomplished as a African-American female in the sport, the first to win a Grand Slam. I think this was the worst time for Jelena to make a comment like that, no class, uneducated. And Coco reinforced what people need to understand. There's no written rule that you can't warm up at the net. Coco Gauff said she was 14 and she faced Taylor Townsend and she did the same thing. You know what I mean? That was 7 years ago. And Taylor said herself, she always warms up that way. So again, there's no rule. And for the let court, Coco made it clear again, it's a point. There's no rule. If it was a rule, it wouldn't count as a point. They take the point back. She said there's no rule that you have to apologize for that. Some players do, some players don't. But the reality here is Taylor hit a winner after that. And 1 point like that, when you're losing 9 service games, it's that is not the reason you're losing. You're losing because you're being outplayed and your opponent is just better than you, on at least for that particular day. And I think overall, I do think Taylor has Jelena's number. She matches up well with her, and that's going to be a tough match for Jelena at any time of her career. So I think Coco's words touching upon the situation were beautiful. And she would also reinforce, look, Taylor is, again, like I've said, she's one of the most well-spoken players I've ever seen or heard. She's very elegant. She's very intelligent. She's very classy. Both of these ladies, Coco and Taylor, huge philanthropy. And I just think it's a shame that Jelena continues these situations. We know about her slamming her racket on the chair. She got fined for that, hitting the ball kid. She's had so many issues with players, the issue with Isla Tomljanovic, the issue with Danielle Collins. It goes on and on. I have so many videos about Jelena Ostapenko. And I've come to her defense and said, look, maybe she does need help. Maybe she does need a mental coach and someone to talk to ease her pain and frustrations, because playing in front of millions of fans and losing, it's tough. And, I can't tell you how that feels. I haven't played in front of millions of fans, but I've played in front of hundreds of fans. And to lose, it is embarrassing. But I can deal with it. I'm a real person. I can deal with the loss and I can get over it. But that's not to say that other people can deal with it the same way. So at the same time, it's about understanding. And I do feel for Jelena, because she's had issues, mental issues, at least what it appears, for quite some time now. So I feel for her. I feel for Taylor. I feel for everyone involved. But I think it's beautiful that Coco Gauff can get on the world stage and show her emotions, especially after a difficult match, because Donna Vekic was playing very good tennis in the first set. And we have to realize, again, I'm going to reinforce, she's implementing a new serve. She's going through a lot here. And Coco continue to be strong. You have a lot of young ladies looking up to you. And Coco looks up to Simone Biles. She said Serena and Simone, those are the 2 ladies on her Mount Rushmore. I think she'll probably add maybe Althea Gibson and maybe even a Billie Jean King in there as well, if not Venus. But when Simone took off the Tokyo Games for a mental health break, Coco said that really, really gave her the courage and the strength, to focus on her mental health. And I do think overall, Coco's doing an amazing job. She's got the tennis world on her shoulders, and she continues to just stay classy and elegant and perform. She's had the most consistent year of all top players on tour, and she continues to thrive. She's going to take on Magdalena Freck up next. I think she gets past Magdalena. The match with Isla was a good prerequisite for a match like that against Magdalena. I think she'll do well there, and that could potentially set up the showdown with Osaka. Osaka or Coco will win this tournament. It's going to be one of the two. Victoria Mboku's out. I think that was the biggest challenge for Coco or Osaka. I don't think any of these ladies in the draw are really going to, I don't think Iga is going to challenge Osaka to the point where she would lose. And I think Coco, she's dominated Iga, I want to say the last 6 sets. The game differential, it's nearly like a 3-to-1 ratio. Coco's been dominating Iga. So I think Coco wins this tournament, to be honest with you. And if she wins and Sabalenka is eliminated before the quarterfinal, Coco Gauff will be number 1 in the world as we celebrate 75 years of breaking the color barrier. I'm your host, Good Energy. Tennis in a Minute. Coco Gauff, we support you. It's okay. We are all humans experiencing this human experience and emotions. It's okay to let them out. Beautiful. Well said.